So I would expect us to see a pretty notable move to the downside here in the last half hour. And I was wrong about that full card. We went to the we didn't even move to like a lot. It was really frustrating. In any case, my sense is that because we didn't have that big drop that we expected, and we didn't have it with this unicursal, that really this was the opportunity, and now we're in the midst of the decline now. This right here was if this thing would move faster. Opportunity here in the midst of this high. We were pretty on point. There was a low first thing in the pre-market drop, and then a move to the upside, like price swings right around the open right here. Price swings, these are pretty notable. I mean, look at that. Look at that price swing. Wow. Interesting that I expected this to be, so the low came in at 12:30, and I was thinking that, is it 12:30? Low came in at almost 1 o'clock. Well, I guess that makes sense. But this is support level. We were attempting to establish support at a higher price level. I saw us declining and attempting to establish support at a lower price level. So I was a little off there, but it's still the reading itself holds true quite well. I knew I was looking at the wrong one. Right here. So the low is here at 12 o'clock. I'm like looking at the wrong day. Like, what happened? So low was at 12 o'clock. So I wasn't as far off as I thought, as I just thought. So here, we ended up at a support level down here. This makes a lot more sense. So we ended up with a support level down here, and this is an important support level. I'm going to highlight this as the Emperor card. But in any case, this is we might see like the tap like overbought territory briefly, which would probably bring us to this close to the VWAP, and then we should have a pretty notable decline. I feel pretty strongly we open to the downside tomorrow, or I should say on Monday. Excuse me, on Tuesday. We have Monday off. Interesting. Well, we'll see where that goes. Hey guys. Hey AV. Hey Randy. Hey Dumb Money. Hey Tabriz. Will Tesla and Netflix sell off into the close? I think we've got what, a half hour. I think probably everything's going to take a nosedive here at the very end of the day. But it looks like we're on point thus far in September. Pretty big down day here. That's what you call a brief peak that's easily missed. Kind of happened just before the end of prior day, but this is a pretty solid reading thus far. And then the other one was Netflix. And guys, while I'm getting this set up, I was in quite a mood yesterday, but I just want to make sure everybody is clear. I'm very thankful to have all the followers and subscribers that we have. You guys are awesome. You're like family to me. I was just in a mood yesterday. What am I trying to do? NFLX. Yeah, and see, this is looking pretty adequate too. We had this move to the upside. We should have a retracement of that move back down. So, and you can see there's one local low and two local highs. When I talk about local highs and local lows, there's two local highs on the 1-day chart and one local low. But we should see some movement to the downside here at the end of the day is my sense, yes. Randy, I'll come back to your question. I just got to get through the people with the stars first. NVIDIA. Well, I don't have anything on monthly for NVIDIA, but I can do something along these lines. Remainder of the day. What do we see remainder of the day? It's an important support there. The Princess of Discs is kind of hard to read chart behavior, and that's what I got. But I would say it'll probably follow suit with everything else and go to the downside there. Could do a yes or no, I guess. Yeah, I got a yes for that. All right, so SPC rally. Oops. That's 2024, sorry. Well, there's the adjustment card there it's the sneak preview card from October for SPC. So we really should see a pretty significant move to the upside. I'm just trying to pinpoint where it's most likely to be. I'm pretty certain we've got lows here on the 6th. I feel pretty strongly we have lows at the beginning of the month here for SPCE. It's possible we see one again here on the 26th. It's possible, but for the most part, I think the low is probably here on the 6th. Looks like a lot of movement to the upside. Probably quite a bit on the 15th. A lot of early in the week on in the third week, and then really big move right at the end of the month. Yeah. Right. There's definitely a big move here going on at the end of October. It could turn out to be the beginning of November. It's possible, but on the 1 year, what it's looking like is a really big move from like a multi, like from a support that's important on a 1 year chart to a resistance that's important on a 1 year chart, and that resistance should be like a new high. So there's going to be a lot of price movement here. Um, and I think that there's a low correlator here in October, but I think that the low actually ends up being here in the beginning. Reading this almost a year after it was created, I've learned quite a lot about 1 years in just that time. I think the low is probably here at the very beginning of September, the low for the year. And thus far, I mean, we're pretty much on point as far as lining ourselves up for this to be quite accurate. The only thing that's been off really about this reading was this little chunk over here in April where we expected to have a highest high thus far. We didn't have a highest high thus far. We didn't even have a high. For whatever reason, it deviated there. But then we came right back into play the remainder of the year thus far. So it's really only one kind of like top that's off. And I think the low is probably here in early September, is my sense. Do I see us going high next week in SPY? I think we'll make a pretty notable move. Yeah. If we don't open like super low on the 5th, like we might really cover a lot of ground. But like to give you an idea, this Ace of Swords. Oops. In the August reading, Ace of Swords was here on the 28th. And you can see it ended up the move that I'm talking about ended up being the day after. Get out of my way, God. This green bar here, the 28th was here, but this is what an Ace of Swords kind of move looks like. It's a really big move to a resistance or off of a resistance, and then in this case it was to a resistance. So we should see something similar going on here in September, in early September. Big move higher on the 5th into the 6th, and probably a highest high at the beginning of the day on the 7th. If I'm wrong about the lows, if I'm wrong about these lows here, they don't, the low slow doesn't end up being in the second week. It'll be most likely because it was here on the 1st. If I'm wrong about them there, that's where it would most likely be. Hey, Robert. All right, cool. Glad to hear about ICP. I'm working on, matter of fact, they're both, the two that you've ordered are going to come out together. Pretty much working on them at the same time, so they should be edited by tomorrow night and sent to you. I know I'm a little behind on there. Appreciate you, man. Hey, Round Earth. The WAXP reading is, it just needs to be edited pretty much. Bitcoin. Oh, let me use this one. Right, so there's an important trough or an important support level here at the very beginning of the month for Bitcoin. But it is an overall bearish month for Bitcoin, and this month offers a significant opportunity to open up a long position in the midst of a decline. I mean, it might be the money, the Tesla bearish trade on the 6th, 7th, but like I said, I don't advise trading during retrograde. You'll stick with me like a bad Chinese dinner. Round Earth, be mindful of selling puts. That's a pretty risky strategy. Like there's unlimited risk potential or unlimited loss potential on selling puts. There's no cap on the loss. Is hey proof? Is BTC going down until Monday? Um, so there might be a little bit of a move to the upside between the second and the third to create a near overbought peak, but I wouldn't say it's going to be much of a move to the upside. The only place between now and Monday that might really end up being bullish is the fourth with the Princess of Swords, but the unicursal makes me think that it's most likely not a bullish day. I think this is more so going to be bearish price swings than straight decline. To be clear, that's what it's kind of looking like. Bearish price swings rather than just a sharp drop. But for the most part, yeah, it's going down into Monday. AV, what do you mean by can we hit a day low today? Do you mean a month's low today for NFLX? Where's my September? Also, for those of you with early access, we got a little backed up on the S&P 500 dailies, but those will be coming out in like packs of 5 at a time, roughly, over the next few days. I think there's probably decline into the end of the day, but I don't think we'll see a lower price level than what we saw first thing in the morning. And that's based on the 2 local highs and the 1 local low. Right, so the local low offered an opportunity in the midst of a decline to open up a long position, and you can see that really took place. Even if you want to go with here in the trading hours, and forget about the pre-market, it would still be the case. There was an opportunity to open up a long position at the low. One of the highs forms when we have a move from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range, and then the other high forms when we have a fast sudden move higher marking the end of a rally along a diagonal trend line, and then that fast sudden move higher turns into a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. So this, I mean, you can see there's different levels of information on the monthlies. But overall, especially because it's the art card, which is like a retracement, we should see a move probably close to the low. It's hard to say where the lowest low is exactly. It may be that we see it a few times. We probably see it on Monday, and then we probably see it on Wednesday, on the 11th and the 13th. It's very possible again on the 15th. I think we probably bounce along a price level here for a little bit at the lows. But again, if I'm wrong about where the lows are, then the most likely location of the low is right here at the end of the day on the 1st. This is supposed to be a super bullish month, so that would be, that's why I say if I'm wrong, it's probably here if I'm wrong. Oh, you know what? That third low is actually probably here on the 18th rather than on the 15th. Hard to say, especially during retrograde. The low for the stock market is going to be in October. I feel very strongly about that, having done the October readings now for all of the FANG stocks and crypto and the S&P 500. I must say I feel very strongly that the lowest low for the year is in October. And is it a crash? It's a pretty big deal of a crash. I mean, technically we're kind of already in it. But yeah, like right here on the cusp, see the low here. Like I said, this there, you got to give it about 2 weeks wiggle room. So the low significator correlates here to the ace of discs very strongly, which is the card for the end of September. But again, 2 weeks wiggle room, because not each card on the timeline is going to represent exactly 2 weeks of time. You have to give it some wiggle room. Energies don't line up like that, you know. So with that said, it looks like the low goes into October, and then the low in October is lined up pretty well with, we've got eclipses, and we've also got this failure card as the as an informing us that the chart behavior into the low is going to be a significant move to the downside through multiple support levels on a 1 year chart kind of scale. To Braze, when would be a good time to take a short and leave it until October? I would not advise to do that. I just wouldn't. There's a reason. There's a reason why they call it short. Like, yeah, especially during retrograde. There's probably good places throughout the month to hold shorts like multiple times, rather than holding it straight through, which I really don't advise you do, my man. Um, I think probably the best place. So like the 6th, 7th, probably the morning of the 7th is going to be the highest high thus far for the month. Then we go into lows, and then we should see higher price levels here at the end of the month than we had here. I think if you want to open up a short, I would probably open up like 25 to 50% of that short, right, roughly here on the 20th, 21st, and then the remaining amount here towards the end of the day on the 25th. That's where I would hold. I'd open up a short in anticipation of a low, a year's low in October. 13th we have CPI. Yeah, and the Princes of Swords can indicate like a lot of volatility based on some sort of news in some cases. Um, how is Cybercoin doing the next few days? One sec. Big move higher on the 2nd. Failed attempt to break through key resistance on the 3rd, followed by decline through key support. Selling from a near overbought peak on the 3rd, excuse me, on the 4th, through multiple support levels. It's kind of mixed, pretty mixed. Could SPY go to 460, 465 in September? See, death card in September. So there's like an important trough. This probably here is super important. Like I would probably open a long position here on the 14th to close on the 21st. But this peak here on the 7th is an opportunity to position oneself in both directions with the amount of price change that we'll see. Remember, this is like this candlestick here is like an Ace of Swords type of price of move. So you can see how you could open up with the amount of price change, provided we do go to the downside quite a bit in the next few days. the amount of price change would have indicated an opportunity to position oneself. Like you could put on the short position here, and you could have put on the long position there, made money on the long position, and in theory, you'd make money on the short position in the not too distant future. So we have a move like that here. You should be able to position yourself in both directions in anticipation of closing a long here around the 20th, 21st most likely, and closing a short here, I'd say, at the beginning of the day on the 14th. You mean the cusp of 2023 and 2024 for ICP? Do I have? I think I have something on for ICP up here. Trend direction around the cusp of the year 2023 into 2024 for ICP. Whoa, that was weird. I'm gonna do that over. I got to the downside, notably. So could I guess I didn't answer your question, Avi. So could SPY go to 460, 465? So that'd be up here. I think that's pretty unlikely. Well, come to think of it, drop in here, or in October, really pretty sharp drop at some point. I think based on the way things will play out the remainder of the month. Yeah, we hit 465. Will gold decorrelate from the market in October? I gotta know. Dividend aristocrats, what? Is that a coin? Huh. Maybe that's the wrong one. Oh, that's to SHIB. Whew. Micro coin. All right, my friends, with that said, I'm going to roll. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys. Really appreciate having you all as subscribers. And, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You know where to go. Here to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of the profits forward to a charity, 5% of the profits back to the channel. Thank you. And that leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that money out of love. As long as you do that, the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel, my friends. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.